Okay, for today's correction, starting with Emily, you were talking about where did you go? It was my interesting experience, and 3 more people are there to get theirs. Oh, you were talking about the personal colors, yes. Okay, so it was my interesting experience. It was an interesting experience. You could say for me, however, because you're saying it already, you don't have to say mine or for me. It was an interesting experience. Just kind of make it more simplified. And then, and 3 more peoples are there to get theirs, and there were 3 others there to do the same, maybe? Yeah. Or to get theirs, yeah, okay. The tutors say and check my face and hair color and overall atmosphere. The consultants? Consultants,
yes,
maybe?
consultants.
Yeah. The consultants checked my features and overall appearance. I take photos when I tripped in another area. I take photos, or I took photos, when traveling. And you can just leave it like that. Again, you can make it simple. You don't have to say I tripped. So when you say the word trip, when I took a trip, or when I went on a trip. However, if you're talking about I tripped, when you trip, like the verb, that means you fall down. You tripped and fell down. So just be careful. When I tripped in another area, then it sounds like, oh, I took a photo of myself falling down. So I took a photo, or I took some photos when I traveled. Hazel? I come up with one I recently visited. I came up with one. I don't know why I put this on there. I came up with one I recently visited. It was quite impressed. So I realized here you were trying to figure out which one was the right one to choose, which is okay. It was quite impressive, the first one you chose. Don't doubt yourself. You were okay. Yeah. And if maybe if you had just chosen that, I wouldn't have any corrections for you today. So it was quite impressive. Yeah. Jihan, people always is flying the sky. You were talking about the surrealistic paintings. There were always people flying in the sky. So you have to have like the word there. There were. And then you said many of paintings are similar. Many of the paintings are similar. We can feel freedom, but we cannot understand. In this sense, you can say we feel liberated. Freedom, yeah, usually we don't really feel freedom. We feel liberated. Or you can say it was liberating. It was a liberating experience. liberating. Whenever you feel like you are free, you are liberated, or you feel something's liberating you. It was liberating, but it was hard to interpret. Because that's basically what you're trying to do when you see famous artwork. You're trying to interpret what was going on, right? So it was hard to interpret. And I draw a painting with my nephews. Were you saying that you were painting, or drawing too? Drawing and painting?
Drawing and painting.
Okay, so I draw and paint with my nephews, because you said draw a painting, which is you can't. I mean, you don't really draw. You just paint or you just draw. So I draw and paint with my nephews. Cynthia, I like to share my last weekend when you were talking about your 1-minute speech. I would like to share with you about. I would like to share last what. Actually, it's kind of hard to say just simply like that. So I would like to share what I did last weekend with you guys. Yeah. It was a little bit incomplete. Then you said the second one I enjoyed more, the second thing I enjoyed, or the next thing I enjoyed. You don't have to say more. It's just, yeah. There are so many people wearing hanbok for picture. There are so many people wearing hanbok for... Were they posing for photos? Okay, so to pose for photos. To pose, P-O-S-E, yeah, to pose for photos. The work I got impression was The Starry Night. The work that affected me, the work that touched me, the work that stands out, yeah, with me the most. And then last, I stopped drawing, and 10 or 20 years later and 6 months ago, I tried to draw again. That sounded a little bit confusing, and 10 and 20 years later and 6 months ago. It was just like, what time? So I stopped drawing about 10 or 20 years ago. And then 6 months ago, I tried drawing again. So just make it 2 sentences, just 2 thoughts there, yeah. So many people think that I don't have creativity. Many people doubt their creativity. Yeah, many people doubt their creativity. But next day, I was disappointed because all his work was completed work. The next day, I was disappointed because all of his exhibitions were completed work. Maybe? Yeah, or his complete work. And did you know he runned away from one woman who was married? So you said from one woman, which is kind of the opposite. Like he's running away from her, like, oh, goodbye. But he ran away with her. Yeah, he ran away with her. So did you know he ran away with a married woman? And that is our corrections for today.